a thought-based Jordan that is a concept in your mind that you are believing yourself to be. And it is that is the one that is judging. Now, that implies that there is another one. Even in your own rhetoric, there is examples of this. I've got to get myself to exercise. I can't get my mind to cooperate. Me and my mind. There is the concept you have of yourself, the idea or any thought in your mind for that matter, and there is that which is aware of that thought or concept or idea. And they are not the same thing. And this is part of your practice and in your meditation practice to begin peeling these things apart that don't belong together. The self is that which is aware of the ego, but the ego can never be aware of the self. The mind will never understand the self, and you must refrain from attempting to make a conceptual idea out of the self, because you're just getting sucked back up into your mind every time you do that. And that's how the mind keeps itself alive. If there were no thoughts in your mind, would you still be here?
No.
No. Well, Jordan
physically you would be,
here.
right?
Right. But physically you would be here, and you would be aware that you are here, right? The thoughts are optional. You don't need thoughts. Yet we live in a thought-based world in our mind, and everyone's mind is a unique world. But none of them are real. And all you have to do is look around the world. People who are raised here do things that people over here think are crazy. People who do things over here that people over here think are crazy. But it's normal to them. Or it's normal to us.
Right. Everybody thinks they're the most normal person on the planet. I mean, that's the truth.
I don't think I'm normal. I don't think anybody described me as normal, and I don't think anybody ever called me normal, but in a good way, I guess. But that's the thing. Like, what can be normal is anything. Very strange. So, you know, when you begin to realize, you see, this is part of the ignorance that I referred to in the beginning. When you begin to realize, right, that there are thoughts and there is that which is aware of the thoughts, and they are not the same thing. When you begin to realize that, now you're getting somewhere. Because until that point, you're just trying to satisfy your mind. You're just trying to make life the way your mind thinks it should be, the way your ego thinks it should be. And constantly what your ego wants is changing, and constantly the way things are changing. So it never works. How many self-help books can you read? Sound familiar, right? You got a library like I do at home? I figured this out 100 times. It's easy.
I'm just thinking about...
Would you use the microphone, please?
Sure.
Is it Lisa, right?
Lisa. I'm just thinking about my conundrum, ego.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in an image business. I have gray roots,
Mm-hmm.
but my image business says cover them, and they're on the ends of my hair.
Mm-hmm.
I go to work and I put on this costume. I get home, I put on my tie-dye in my sneakers, and I roll around with my 18 dogs. Who am I? It depends on the moment, and I have to be an actress when I go to work and pretend I'm this. And then when I come home, I believe I'm more authentically me.
Mm-hmm.
But then I torture myself because I worry about the things I'm going to read or see or learn about in the news, the bad news. And I circle think, compulsive thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Just by driving down the street, like, like I horrify myself, like somebody's murdering a dog right now. Somebody's abusing a person right now. Somebody's killing a baby right now. Why do I self-sabotage like that?
That's a way that your mind just keeps you trapped in your mind.
It's so sick.
Well, no, it's not sick. Let's not
That's
listen.
judgment.
Yeah, there is no judgment here, okay?
I
None.
torment myself with this.
Yes. Yes, you and many, many other people, okay? One of the ways that the mind keeps itself alive is by grabbing your attention by all sorts of crazy things. Because when you are in your mind contemplating those things, are you present?
No.
No. No. And it's just you are habitually in a conditioned way getting tied up in your mind. This is the way that your mind got programmed to operate for whatever reason, whatever environment you grew up in, things you heard, things you chose when you were this big. You know what I mean? Your mind is programmed to behave this way. But are you beginning to realize that there is a you and a your mind?
Yes.
And the you, the awareness that is aware of the mind, can retrain and rewire that mind.
Sometimes I feel like I'm seeing myself, like I'm the seer.
Mm-hmm. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? You're seeing yourself.
Like an out-of-body experience.
Mm-hmm.
I see myself interacting with people as I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when I am not completely authentic
Mm-hmm.
and I'm telling sweet white lies. Oh, your hair looks great. Looks like shit.
Mm.
You know, but that's all judgment and that's part of my work. And I get paid so I can pay bills and there's that whole thing and feed my animals. That's real.
When you are having sort of outer body experience, you know what I mean, that the consciousness is rising even out of the body.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that happen too, only occasionally. There is a burgeoning consciousness in humanity, okay? That, you know, we tend to think about evolution as something that happened. But evolution is still happening, and you are evolving.